I really am not gonna lie. I never thought it was gonna get that far. I honestly thought it was just political theater for him to just keep saying this until the very end. I didn't think he was actually going to be at inauguration now, because he decided that he finally concedes, and he says that he has committed to a peaceful transition. I honestly thought he was just not going to go to the inauguration because of his pride. But I think what happened yesterday is he found out that you're not going to overrun this country like that, right? Yeah. It's not going to happen. There's too many. The one crazy thing, which has been proved, we've talked about this, right, is the way the country was built, right? Yeah, there's the whole part of which we can touch on, elitists getting poor people to fight for them, and once they're in power, they kept themselves in power. That's why the whole, where they say, this isn't us, that they keep saying. I'm like, no, pause. This is us. This is how we were built. This is how this country was built. It was built on poor, uneducated people fighting for other people, because guess what happened once that happened? Once America became America, only people who got to vote were white property
people,
male,
white men,
men, property.
Actually, white. That's true. Sorry, I said white men, white property owners. You're correct.
Yeah, which actually ends up being, it had only been 10% of America at that time. So there's a reason why the top 10% of America hoards all the money. Why why all the laws get created to benefit them versus us. That's what this. So no, don't say this isn't us. This is us. This has been us.
Yeah.
So hopefully now that we finally got this demagogue to finally actually do something that we never thought was going to happen, a storming of our nation's capital where people were waving the Confederate flag.
Yeah. Someone lowered the American flag and raised the Trump flag in there.
So honestly, like, hopefully this will finally be the point where they're like, all right, we do got to move forward. It's not, but hopefully there's something comes out of that where you know what, now you can argue, look, we can't allow seditious, I don't know if I'm using the right word, we can't allow a person like Donald Trump ever to run again.
Yeah.
Like,
you said you didn't expect it to come to this, as like violent or whatever. I expected violence after Trump lost, just because of all the stuff he was saying before he lost. I didn't expect it to be in DC. I thought it was going to be in a lot of, I thought it was going to be here. I thought it was going to be here in Georgia. I thought maybe, not necessarily that blue wall, not Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. I thought maybe Arizona would see some of it, maybe Nevada.
But you know what happens with that? A lot of these guys who these militias that want to rise up and all that stuff. All right, you were straight up. If you're serious were about that, why don't you never join the military? A lot of them don't have the balls to do that. Right. They really don't, because you know what? Like somebody said, all right, why don't you go to Atlanta? Go to Candler Park,
right,
or Candler Drive. What was it? Candler Park, Candler Drive.
Park.
Yeah. Go to what is it? Hollow Grove. Go to
Hollow
areas.
Grove. Yeah.
Go to areas where people live in all, what basically looks like war zones half the time. Anyways, they won't go into it.
I saw this one video of this one MAGA lady, like she put her hand on like a black female cup, and this is one of the cleanest punches I've ever seen. She does this like bop, and then you see the other video, and you see that lady like bleeding from the nose, and they were like asking, who did this to you? Who did this to you? It's like this. She was like, this black lady. It was like, was it BLM? Was it BLM? Like, yeah, it was BLM, and they didn't do anything about it. She's like, of course not. They don't do anything about BLM. It's like, nah, it wasn't BLM. It was a cop. It was a black cop that you tried to talk, and she freaking decked the shit out of you. But it's sad, but I'm glad we've had a day to really just like consume everything that's happened, and it's like, yeah, we're seeing it a little clear-eyed. So 4 people died. One person was shot by Capitol Hill police.
Yeah, and actually, that is someone actually that we should touch on. So she was a 14-year veteran of the Air Force, not 14-year-old. She was a 14-year veteran of the Air Force. So somebody actually put it in some crazy terms for that when I read it, I was like, holy, that's actually quite incredible. This woman died storming the building in the place where the Constitution that she was defending for 14 years is at, right?
Mm-hmm.
She died fighting for a guy who doesn't even care. People say he doesn't care about the country, and he doesn't care about the military.
Yeah, he doesn't care about history.
Like, he doesn't.
Yeah, the most patriotic people, and this is what I say when I tell people what the problem with my birth country is, what the problem with Nigeria is. I say that our problem is that we have no sense of history. We have no heroes. We have no stories. So people don't have this sense of, oh, these people came before me. This is what they fought for. This is what I should be protecting. That patriotism. Here, there is a lot of that. But if you don't have any sense of history, any sense of, those people stormed Normandy, and those people died at Pearl Harbor and all that stuff, to preserve the freedoms we have today and all that stuff. If you don't have any sense of that, then none of it matters to you. That the Constitution is being pissed on. It doesn't matter to you. And Trump doesn't have that. He's not an intellectual person. So to have someone like this who served the nation for 14 years, to uphold the nation's values and creeds and the Constitution, die for someone who's antithetical to all of that, it's tragic. And it's very easy for us to be like, oh well, you get what you deserve, but no, it's actually pretty tragic that she was consumed by this cult of personality.
It really is. It's tragically ironic that she died the way she died. There's also so 4 other people have passed away. So it was 4 before, now it's 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I guess the number rose a little bit, but those people died because of health reasons, I guess.
Yeah, and then I know one of the I'm not even going to do it. I was going to say patriots, but no. One of the insurrectionists said that he had issues with like high blood pressure and all that stuff, and I guess he got super excited and he died from it. I don't know, man. I don't know, and this goes back to what I said very earlier on in the show. I don't know what you can tell them to make them understand that none of this matters. What they're doing, like there is no fraud. People voted, and your guy didn't win. That's the end of it. And for him to do this BS concession now, after all of this, no, you don't get to just get away with it. No, like I think he should be held accountable. I'm really serious about that. I think for him to not be held accountable.
I honestly felt that Pence. I guess now they'll feel like there's no need for, since he's finally conceding and he's finally.
That's BS.
I honestly think that Joe Biden should be the 47th president, because Pence becomes the 46th by invoking the 25th Amendment. I really do believe that. Even if he's decided to concede, even if basically now he's going to be a lame duck president.
Yeah, I don't care if it's only 13 days or whatever. Get him out of there. Have that on his gravestone when he dies. Have it follow him through history that he was removed from office because he was seditious. We can't call him treasonous, because treason, for you to be treasonous, you have to do it on behalf of another nation. We can speculate that this might be what Russia wants or whatever, but we don't know that for sure. We do know that it is seditious to try and go against the nation, just as the Confederates did in 1861. So anyway, but he's going to get away with it as usual. So I know we've been on this topic for a while, but there are a few more things to hit on. He was banned from social media for 12 hours, and then now it's become a full ban on Facebook, I think, until his term is over.
Facebook and Instagram, yeah, until his term is over, and then they said after that it's indefinite because they don't know if they're going to give it back to him or not.
Right.
Twitter banned him for 12 hours.
Yes.
And they only will reinstate him if he deletes the tweets that got him banned.
So what I read is that he did delete those tweets. Yeah.
But he honestly, yesterday was his what is it called? I think there's
Swan song.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. You tell me. Was his final stand?
Yeah, the swan song. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So it was his final stand. That was it.
Oh, let me see if I can find that one tweet that finally got him blocked. But yeah, sorry, keep.
Yeah, so that was it. That was his final stand. That's his swan song. His you know, I think there's a French term, but I was having trouble figuring out creme de la creme pre-production, so I won't bother trying to say it. But yeah, this was his final stand. This was him, like, you know, and then I think the pressure of the country, the way it's been built, beat him. He honestly probably did think that he could succeed. He honestly thought he could succeed and overturn the election. And then I guarantee you, if he had overturned the election, which I'd say was never going to happen, but shit, it was pretty close, wasn't it? It's closer than it ever has been in at least modern history. But if he had succeeded in overturn the election, I guarantee you he would have ran again in another 4 years, because he would have been, if he was still alive, because he would have been like, I was impeached, so I can actually legally run again 4 more years.
Yeah. So hey, this is the thing he said that got him banned from Twitter for 12 hours. He said, these are the things that happen. These are the things and events that happen when a sacred landslide election victory is unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from great patriots who have been badly and unfairly treated for so long. Go home with love and peace. Remember this day forever. They stormed Capitol Hill, and his thing is, this is what you get. You stole the election from me. This is what you get. You know, and then, oh, we love you, patriots. You know, go home, be in peace. Oh yeah, he did a video where he said, you're very special. We love you. You know, not, oh, you shouldn't be storming Capitol Hill, or what you're doing is wrong. No, we love you. We know. I feel your pain. Go home. You know, baby them, right? But God forbid someone decides to protest because they don't like black people being shot in the back. So, you know, F this dude. I hope he goes away and doesn't. Yeah, my camera fell.
He's mad, guys. He's mad.
Yeah. I hope he goes away into obscurity. As I'm fixing my camera, you know, I'm just gonna hold it up. This is weird. So the last couple of things is that they resumed the speeches. Matt Gaetz immediately made it political and said that it was about.
God, that guy's a fucking clown.
Yeah, he is. The three stooges are Matt Gaetz, Devin Nunes, and Jim Jordan. By the way, Devin Nunes and Jim Jordan are getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Nunes already got it.
Yeah, for being loyal.
Get it. Yeah. But yeah, so he immediately made it about Antifa. And then there's still 6 senators that objected to the certification of the election, despite what happened, right? So I'm gonna put that up on the screen real quick. But yeah, Matt Gaetz is, what was it? What was the term you said?
I remember. I honestly, as soon as he started talking, I turned it off just because. Oh God, I really can't stand Matt Gaetz.
My camera, please stay. All right, so
he gave credit to Antifa. The reason we haven't bothered touching on this whole idea that Antifa was the really behind it is because it's honestly, it's just so moronic.
Yeah.
To act. If anybody believes that, I'm not gonna say kill yourself, but you know, do something.
Someone said the FA when this is happening. Someone tweeted, "This is the FA in Antifa that's going on. It's fascists." All right, so these are the 6 senators. Make sure that you guys know who they are, so they never hold office again. That objected to certification of the election. That objected to the will of the American people. Tommy Tuberville, freaking football coach over here from Alabama. Can you see my mouse? Can you see the?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, so Tommy Tuberville, John Kennedy from Louisiana, Tuberville for Alabama, Kennedy for Louisiana, Roger Marshall from Kansas, Cindy Hyde Smith from Mississippi, Josh Hawley from Missouri. He's going to be done before the New Hampshire primary in 2024, and Ted Cruz from Texas. That's them.
Just shave that mustache.
That's
beard.
them. It was 13 at one point, but then after what happened in Capitol Hill, a lot of them, including Kelly Loeffler, were like, "No, we're not going to object anymore."
Yeah, actually, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit I was pleasantly shocked when Kelly Loeffler said, "In good conscience, I can no longer do this stupid shit that I was planning on doing."
Right.
So,
right. So at least she's got a brain in there.
So,
and then by 3:31 a.m., Biden was certified as our next president of the United States.
And then, as we said, Trump has finally conceded.
Yeah. Trump conceded today as we were recording. So, I mean, the whole thing, it was a lot. And this is probably our longest segment of the show, but we had to give it the time it deserved. I feel bad for the families of the people that died. I'm hoping that the families aren't as rabid as they are. But when you lose someone, it's bad anyway. So I feel bad for them. But hopefully this is the end of it. It's 13 days to go, so anything can happen. But he's conceded, so maybe that calms them down. We'll see.
Well, yeah, I think that's something that we should. Maybe that'll be something we look forward to of the calming, of basically him him fading into irrelevance.
Yeah. That's
before we knew he wasn't going to become irrelevant, but maybe this finally actually is going to push him towards irrelevance, where people are just going to be like, "We're not going to listen to you," because now he hasn't. I honestly don't think Twitter should. They should treat him the same way they treated Milo. What was his name? Milo.
Vincent Mill. No, that's the guy from Heroes. Milo Yiannopoulos.
Yeah, the same way they treated him and said, "Look, this guy."
Vincent Mill is the guy from This Is Us.
Really good.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I just hopefully they just don't give him a platform. It's not freedom. It's not a denial of freedom of speech, guys, because he could still talk his dumb shit. You can still listen to him if you want to, but social media isn't required to give you something.
They're private entities. They don't have to do shit they don't want to. I was gonna ask you one more thing. Nope, I lost it. So
like
that's
Donald Trump lost the election.
Yes. Oh no, I wasn't gonna ask you. I wasn't gonna ask you something. I was gonna tell you a story. So so when that thing came out on Sunday, the Brad Raffensperger audio, I listened to it, and my initial reaction from listening to the 5-minute snippet was that I actually really felt embarrassed for him. And funny thing is, I actually didn't know when I first heard it that was from the day before. Like, it was recorded on Saturday, released on Sunday. I didn't know that. I thought this was like a recording from right after the November election, or from December. I didn't know this guy was still on this. So when I heard it, I was like, man, I really feel embarrassed for this guy. I wasn't being funny when I put that on Facebook. I legit felt embarrassed for him that this came out. And then I went home. I went to my parents' home for a Sunday dinner, as I usually do. I was talking to my dad about it, and I was like, I worry for the president, in that he sounds like a guy that's backed into a corner, and he really can't understand how he lost. And it's it's almost ripping away at his sense of self. And I worry for him that he might do something to himself, right? And then I was like, but he's a bit of a narcissist. I don't know if narcissists can actually harm themselves.
Hurt themselves.
Right. I was worried for him. And then when this happened yesterday, I stopped worrying for him completely. I was like, F that dude. That's what yesterday did for me. I was like, I don't care what happens to the president at this point. F him.
And it's incredible to me. I honestly feel like Donald Trump destroyed himself.
Yeah.
I really do. Of course, this was just one day after, right? So we got to see what happens. But he had the opportunity. if he had just accepted the defeat, kept the BS of him getting robbed, right? But gone ahead and said, all right, I got robbed, but I concede. And then always made sure to mention that every 3-4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Dude could have kept getting rich and richer.
Yeah.
Really?
Like if he had conceded, or not conceded, but like, you know what, there was like, the Democrats did all the stuff to like rig this against me, but we'll come back stronger in 4 years or something like that. Do that early on, right? And just keep that base, because his base is strong. It's a lot of people. Keep that base. He would have won the 2024 primary in a landslide. The primary, he would have been
his
easily,
revenge.
He would have easily been the nominee for the Republican Party. Everything he's done in the 2 months since the election, I don't think the Republican Party will give him a second look.
I don't think they will. I think he'll be blacked out.
Yeah,
he will be blacked out because they're, at the end of the day, the Republican Party is about the Republican Party. They're for themselves.
At the end of the day, they've realized, and I think yesterday was like the real final nail in the coffin. They've realized that this guy has made himself bigger than the party, and that cannot stand. We can't let him become bigger than the party. So I think you're right. I think it's gonna be blacked out, and it's all because of everything he did since election day. Had he just taken it and been like, you know what, we'll be back, man. Like, screw these Democrats, they rigged it, blah blah blah. Not only would he have won the primary in 2024, there's a good chance Loeffler and Perdue could have won their race. Actually, I don't think so. I think the people that came out for Ossoff would have voted for Warnock anyway. I think the Loeffler race would have been closer. I think Ossoff and Warnock would have won anyway. But Trump completely destroyed any chance he had of any future in this party or in anything.
Yeah. So that was the Sedition Caucus. Oh, I forgot to mention this during the Loeffler thing, during the Georgia Senate runoff. So we'll end it on a very, I find it extremely hilarious. So those of you who don't know, Kelly Loeffler co-owns the WNBA's Atlanta Dreams, and almost, if I'm not mistaken, all of the Atlanta Dream players endorsed Raphael Warnock.
Yeah, they would wear shirts writing "Vote Warnock,"
which to me is just hilarious.
Yeah, it's because Kelly Loeffler in the summer came out against Black Lives Matter and was very vocal against it. So all the players are like, "Nah, screw this B." So vote Warnock. So that is great. That's a good note to end it on.
All right.